two-step equations. Two-step equations are solved exactly the same way that one-step equations are. It's just that there's been two changes made to the letter. So remember, an equation is like saying, look, I thought of a number and then I did something to it and here's the result. So here, I thought of a number, x, I multiplied it by 2, then I added 3 and I got 11. Now I can tell that I multiplied by 2 first because of order of operations. So I had to do the times first and then the plus. Now we have to reverse what was done to get back to x, and we've got to do it in reverse order. So it's like unwrapping a pasta parcel. If I put on layer 1, then layer 2, then layer 3, you've got to take off layer 3, then layer 2, then layer 1. So to solve two-step equations, we've got to choose which one to get rid of first, and we choose by doing reverse order of operations. That is reverse BODMAS. So if we reverse that, I know some people like to say it's SAMDOB, then we're going to do the adding and subtracting first, as long as that's okay. And then multiplying and dividing, and then brackets, because we've got to reverse what they did when they decided to try to hide what x was. So they thought of x, they multiplied by 2, they added 3, they got 11. We're going to start with the end of BODMAS with that plus 3. How do I reverse what they did? I subtract 3 from both sides. I've still got 2x here. I haven't dealt with the 2 yet, and that is 11 minus 3. So you work out what 11 minus 3 is. Now I reckon you can probably work out 11 minus 3. And you could have just gone straight to this line here, 2x equals 8. For a one-step equation, you've got to show this line here in blue, because that's pretty much your only working. But for a two-step equation, that line there, where you said, look, 2x is 11 minus 3, come on, I know it's 8, you can just skip straight to here. And in the same way, now we've got a one-step equation. You can solve 2x equals 8. What was done to the x? It was times by 2. We've got to divide by 2. X, because that gets rid of the 2 now, is 8 divided by 2, and that's x equals 4. And in the same way, once you know that x is 8 divided by 2, in a two-step equation you can probably say, look, I don't need to show this line of working. But if all that working helps you get the answer, then you're totally welcome to show it. So you're quite welcome to show all this working for a two-step equation. You are welcome to just show those lines. So the next one, I'll just show the lines that we need. X divided by 5 plus 1 equals 6. So remember, that's like saying I'm thinking of a number, I divided it by 5, then I added 1 and I got 6. So to reverse that, reverse order of operations, we'll deal with this plus 1 first. We'll subtract 1 from both sides. I'll be left with x divided by 5 over here, and 6 minus 1 is 5. Now be very careful here. X divided by 5 is 5. So to get rid of a divide by 5, we multiply by 5 to get x equals 25. So you'll see how every two-step equation, after you've done the first step, it comes down to a one-step equation which you know how to solve. Now I've put this one in because it's a bit tricky. Here I thought of a number, subtracted 1, and then I divided by 4. And you can tell that I did the division afterwards because it's in a fraction, and there's invisible brackets around any sum on top or bottom of a fraction. And in reverse BODMAS, we do brackets last. So this is saying I had x, I took away 1, then I divided by 4. So actually I'm going to multiply by 4 first here, I'll be left with x minus 1 equals 5 times 4 is 20. And then it's a one-step equation. Add 1 to both sides, x equals 21. So the big thing with reverse BODMAS here, this is how we solve our two-step equations. This is how we work out, do I deal with the 3 first or the 2 first? Do I deal with the 5 first or the 1 first? It's reverse BODMAS because we're reversing what they did to hide that x.